child arrived just the other day. He came to the world in the usual way, but there were planes to catch and bills to pay. He learned to walk while I was away, and he was talking for I knew it. And as he grew, he'd say, I'm gonna be like you, Dad. You know I'm gonna be like you. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, Dad, I don't know when, but we'll get together then. You know we'll have a...
For project 3, we had to create a speaker using electromagnets, permanent magnets, and some bowls and plates. Our job was to make sound by using a stereo or some type of audio equipment.
Okay, so what we used was these magnets. These magnets, we used a paper cup, paper plate, and paper bowl to make the different sizes. And we use this wire. What do I call it?
It's called like enamel coated.
Yeah, I think
Our
it's
enamel coated wire. And what we did was we used various objects to wrap this around to make a coil. For the tweeter, we used a small AA battery. For the mid-range, we used this pool thing. And for our this one, we used these larger magnets to wrap this around. So we formed our coil, and then we taped them to the top of each paper plate thing. And then we used paper, or we cut up pieces of our paper plates to make supports for our paper plates, and so that they can vibrate. Then we put magnets underneath, right in the middle of our coils, so that when this pushes play, or when we turn that on, it'll vibrate against it. Is that all I say? Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you about what's these things. This one is bass, this one is mid-length, and this one is tweeter. So this one is move slow, and this one is move fast. So push the air is fast and sounds, how to say?
It's higher frequency.
Higher frequency. This one is a lower frequency. And mid one is normal.
Alright, how these things work is each coil becomes an electromagnet when you send a current through it. Now, electromagnets only work if you send a current, and our current comes from this stereo. Now, when this current goes through, the current goes off and on, so it changes the polarity of the electromagnet, so it vibrates the plate, which vibrates the air, which makes sound. Go ahead, Dylan.
Alright, technical difficulties. Well, we originally had this red wire, and we thought it was bad because it wasn't working, but we ended up finding out that the enamel coated was a good wire to use, so we continued to use the wire. But we found out the main problems were, one was the magnets. We're using pretty weak magnets to start with, so we got new magnets from David. And another problem we ran into was the vibration. The things holding up the plates weren't vibrating enough to give it that sound, so we got kind of thinner paper to give it that bounce. And another thing we had to find out was, since the wire is enamel coated, we had to burn off the enamel around it so we could tie the wires together. And yeah, that's about it.
And what went wrong with one of our coils is so much current went through it that it burned the enamel coating on one of the coils, so we had to replace it. It took us a while to figure it out, but we had to be careful on how much volume we used because it could change, it could have repercussions on our speakers. And let's hear our speaker. Turn it up a little bit.